third rig I'm going to be showing is the multi-rig. It's very simple to tie. It's adjustable. You can change it by the length of the loop, which you'll see soon. And let's get started on this one. Okay, you can see all the supplies we need. I'm using a Corda N-Trap soft, 15 pound for this one. It's a little bit easier to use. Baiting needle, some heavy metal putty. The pop-up we're going to be using is the Odyssey X 15mm airball pop-up. See that there? And a Corda Chotty. I'm doing a micro barbed size 6. We'll need a stripper tool, pair of scissors to cut through the braid, and then I'll need also, you can use floss. I'm just using a piece of braid. You'll understand this later. This is to tie the pop-up on. Okay, battery died, so I had to change it. First thing we're going to do, take about 16 inches of the Corda N-Trap and go ahead and 16 to 18, go ahead and cut that. Next part, we're going to do a giant overhand loop. Whatever length pop-up you want, or pop-up area. If you want this to pop up from the bottom to where the pop-up is 6 inches, then you want to make it about 7. I want mine to pop up about 5 inches, so I'm going to do a section about 6 inches long. Until you do the overhand loop and the knot, you'll lose about an inch. So go ahead and do it like that. Giant overhand loop. The trick is you got to tease this down a little bit, because if not, then you're going to have like just a small loop like that. So you got to work it back towards the knot some. Just takes a little bit of time. Just keep working it slowly down. Okay. And go ahead and pull that tight and trim our excess. Okay. Next step, I have a Chotty hook that I pulled out here. We're going to take the overhand loop, just kind of do that over the end. We're going to go up through the eye. This is a little bit tricky because once you double this over, it's a thicker line now. Okay, we try this here. Okay, up through the eye. Separate it just like that. Push the hook up through, and then go ahead and grab the barb like that. That way it doesn't get hung up on the hook point. All we're going to do is pull this, and there we go. Our boilie is actually going to go on this section right here, the little D or the arc there. The first thing we want to do is strip this back before we do anything. What we're going to do is take our stripper tool. You can see where the knot is right there. Put the stripper tool right behind that, and we're going to strip off about a ½ inch. Okay. You can see how there's a buildup of the coating. This section right here has no coating on it, so it's nice and flexible. This will allow your rig to have more movement in the water. Let's make sure all that coating's back. Okay, next thing we're going to do is grab just a little bit of putty. Okay, like all putties, you just have to heat up a little bit with your fingers. Okay, wherever that wad of coating is, just push the putty on there and then fold it over. Okay, and just make that nice and neat. Okay, so that's going to hold it down, and the rig's going to come up like this right now. The last step is putting the pop-up. Actually, you know what? The other step is every hand loop on the end as usual. I almost forgot to do that. Every hand loop. Okay, and trim that off. Okay, so we're basically good to go at this point. Last thing we got to do is take a pop-up. This is the tricky part. I always have a tough time with this. All I'm going to do, take my baiting needle down through, like so. Okay, I just folded a piece of braid in half. I'm going to pull the braid up through the pop-up. Okay. And I have to get a stop here real quick. Put a stop on and pull that down. Okay, now the tricky part is tying this on. You just basically do 2 overhand loops. Okay, this section here, start to push that up through, that way we can create a bigger arch. Put one piece through, the other just overhand loop. And we just cinch it down. That'll hold the pop-up. You can use bait floss or braid. I just use braid because of the old fishing line I have laying around. And repeat the same thing, overhand loop, pull down, and that'll secure the knot at that point. Alright, that's the first time that actually worked first try for me. Seems like I always have difficulty with that. Okay, trim your tag ends, and you have your pop-up on. Okay, sorry, went out Ranger. And you can still move it down to your likings. Right there. And I'll show you this in the water so you can see how this is going to pop up. Basically, that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. Let me go to the tank and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, I'm going to drop this in the tank. I actually I experimented with it. The putty wasn't enough to hold it down because the pop-up's so buoyant. So I had to put a shot on and then put putty around that to conceal it. So let's see how it looks. Okay. As you can see, let me zoom in here. Got the chatty on there. Got the split shot with putty around it to hold it on the bottom. Like I said, you can adjust these any length. And also what's nice about this is if you want to change pop-ups, it's really easy to undo and redo. You just push a line up through the eye, undo your braided line around the pop-up, just put a new one on. So that is the multi-rig. Very simple to tie. Hopefully I made that clear enough in the video so you can see everything. Thanks for watching.